zero in on what's gone on in the Pac-12. The Clippers need this guy. This guy reinvented himself. He's kind of a chemistry guy, and now the Clippers lose Russell Westbrook, fractured hand, out indefinitely. He was a glue that kind of held this thing together. Now, there's no doubt they still got the big three: Harden, Kawhi, Paul George. You just keep your fingers crossed that nobody's breaking down final month of the season, but they're going to need bench help. They do have Norm Powell, but this to me is a really big blow. Second topic. This guy is self-destructing, setting himself on fire right in front of our eyes. We're talking about Mick Cronin in UCLA, 14-15 on the season. For the second time in a month, he has a terrible meltdown about his players. He says that defense that allowed 90 points a game, that's not Mick Cronin's defense. That's on those kids. And then he said, my guys need to turn the thermostat up on defense, and they've refused to do it. He says some of you people are playing for next year. I want to see who wants to be here next year. I guarantee you I can't build a roster around guys that won't fight. I want guys to learn to do the hard things. This was this weekend. A couple of weeks ago, he's the one that stood up and just screeched at his players, don't call your mama, and don't think about going in the transfer portal because nobody wants you. It's amazing what Mick Cronin has turned into. And by the way, you recruited him. You're responsible for him. It's your program. Coach him up. Don't beat him down. I've never seen in modern day athletics a coach do that. And the third name is Bronny James, USC. I'm sorry. This is just starting to look like the whole Lonzo Ball era with his dad. Top. Bronny James. He's talking about going to the NBA draft, talking about selecting a team. Why? He just got benched. He's averaging 5 points a game, lost his starting job with the Trojans. He's telling people, I have to see who I'm going to fit in with before I make a decision on going to the draft. And he just got benched. It's like listening to Lonzo Ball and Lonzo Ball's father and how'd all that work out. So, Coach, topics on the table. Pick one.
Well, I'll start with Russell Westbrook, Lee. You know, going back to watching him play at UCLA and watching his Hall of Fame career in the NBA, you know, he was with the Lakers there for a while. And he took a lot of criticism. And, you know, I watched those Laker games religiously. I've been a huge Laker fan since I was a little boy. And, you know, the only thing that I disliked about him when he was with the Lakers, I mean, I never want to see him take a three-point shot ever again. But mid-range jump shot, going to the hoop, fantastic player. You brought up the point that, you know, he changed his role and he's come off the bench and done one hell of a job. And he's a good guy. He's done a lot of great charity work in Los Angeles. And, you know, hopefully he can get back there because the Clippers are playing great. And I got to mention the kid from San Diego, from Lincoln, Norman Powell, another guy comes off the bench right now. I mean, he got serious firepower and he's a very underrated player. And then you get Kawhi and Paul George, I know, has missed a few games, and you got Harden. I mean, they've got the wherewithal to win this thing. Well, if everybody's healthy. So it'll be interesting. As far as Mick Cronin, I talked to some people at UCLA earlier in the year, not recently, but it was after his first meltdown. And he's just having a really hard time with these guys. And he thought they would be a lot further ahead than they are. You got a lot of European players that he's brought in. I think, you know, it's been a major adjustment for them. It's obviously been more than an adjustment for the head coach. And, I mean, there's been times where UCLA early in the year played really well. Then they were just awful. You didn't even want to watch them play. Then they got into a pretty good spell where they won, you know, 5, 6, 7 games out of about 8. And now they're back to going the wrong direction again. So he hasn't handled it very well. It'll be very interesting to see who stays, who goes. We'll have to wait and see on that. And the last topic, Bronny James, I think the best thing for Bronny, I think considering his dad talks about his son a lot, I think the kid has actually done a pretty good job. He's a very good passer. I mean, there's some real strong points about him as a basketball player. He plays good defense. He passes the ball well. Got to definitely work on his shot. But I think he's hey, let's be honest. Let's be happy the kid's even able to play after that hard episode a year ago. He got a lot of work to do. And I think going to the NBA or trying to go to the NBA after 1 year would be a major mistake. Stay in there for at least 3 years, get bigger, get stronger, get better, And then let's talk about the NBA.
Have you ever seen a coach rip apart his team the way Cronin has ripped apart his team twice this year?
Well, Bobby Knight did every once in a while years ago.
Just good comparison. Interesting. Hey, we get to halftime.